Hi, so for today's video, I'm going to be talking about the limits of identity functions. But before I get into that, let's talk about what a limit actually is. So when you're finding the limit of any function, you're finding the value of y as x approaches any number. So here I just have an example of how you would actually write out when you're trying to find the limit of any function. So in my example here we have f of x, which is my function, equals 3x plus 2. And the way you'd write this is the limit of f of x as x approaches 2. And that's what this little arrow is. That's just to show you that x is approaching 2. And so f of x, as you can see here, is equal to 3x plus 2. So down here, I'll write it as the limit of 3x plus 2 as x approaches 2. But in today's video, we're not going to be talking about how to solve this type of problem. We're going to be talking about how to solve for the limits of identity functions. So an identity function is when your f of x equals x, or another way of saying that would be your y equals your x. So if you look at this graph here, we can see that we have our x along this side and our y along this side. And with our points, we have 1, 1, 2, 2, which will be here, and 3, 3, which will be here. So like I said, your y equals your x, so your x and y coordinates are the same on the line, on your function. So let's say we wanted to find the limit of x as x approaches 3. And so since your f of x and x are the same, you can rewrite this as the limit of x as x approaches 3. Now, if you want to find the limit, sometimes you want to start from the left and the right. So that's what we're doing here. The limit of x as x approaches 3 from the left. That's what this line is for. It's 3 to the left. So let's come up here and look. If we're approaching 3, so 3 is down here. If we're approaching 3 from the left side, approaching 3 from the left, we see that our y value will be 3. And if we approach 3 from the right side of our line, our y value is still 3. And this is because our x and y values are the same. So as x approaches any of these numbers, our y value is going to be the same as our x, because we're approaching it from the right and the left side. And since y is equal to x, whatever x is approaching, y is approaching the same thing. And so that's what we have. These equal 3 equals 3. So basically a good rule of thumb for this, for identity functions, would be if you're finding the limit of x, the number you're approaching is your answer. So here I just have it simplified. So the limit of x as x approaches a is always going to be a. And so that's for any identity function. If you see f of x equals x, your answer is going to be whatever the number x is approaching. And so that's it. I hope this helped you, and I hope that this can help you work on your own limit functions.